Hey, lovey, welcome back to my channel. I hope you and yours are doing amazing. Kiki is my name. It's your first time being here. Welcome. Please do me the favor of hitting the subscribe button so we can get to know each other better. You can learn more about my fragrance collection and also get some fragrance education, which I love to share. Today's video is all about Zara fragrances. I have 5 of the best Zara perfumes, which I consider to be great dupes and alternatives to some very popular and quite pricey niche fragrances and one designer scent. If you'd like to know what these are, why don't you get settled? Share this with a loved one. And let's get into the video. Zara is a high street fashion brand based out of Spain and it was launched in 1975 by Rosalia Mena and Amancio Ortega. The brand quickly grew a cult following because of their very affordable, accessible, yet luxurious looking fashion pieces. In the late 90s, I believe in 98, they launched their very first fragrance, and since then till date, they have created almost 1,000 fragrances, largely in collaboration with some respected, highly sought after, and renowned master perfumers, including the late and great Rosendo Mateo, Benoit Lapuza, the nose behind Angel's Share and its flankers, Jeremy Epinette, the nose behind Byredo fragrances, including Bal d'Afrique, and my absolute favorite, Jo Malone, who owns the eponymous brand Jo Malone London. The first Zara fragrance on this list is Fields at Nightfall, a 2020 launch, and this is a creamy, warm, lactonic fragrance that is very, very heavy on its milkiness. Now, it's quite surprising that even though a lot of people are not fans of milky notes or creamy notes, this is one of my most complimented Zara fragrance. There's something about this and my skin chemistry. Whenever I wear this, people just want to know what it is. I've recommended this to so many people as well. It's a beautiful, heavily projecting fragrance, especially on my clothes and with the way I spray. Now, this is such a spot on dupe of This Is Her by Zadig and Voltaire, a 2016 launch. Equally creamy, equally cozy, equally a heavy projector. Now, while these do not share the exact same notes, they do have the note of jasmine for a sort of musky, powdery dry down. I enjoy that. It comes in, a few hours after the fragrance is worn. You get that muskiness to it. And also sandalwood for that creamy warmth that you get throughout the wear of this fragrance. Both fragrances are quite enjoyable, especially if you love your creamy, milky fragrances, and they're actually perfect for the colder months and winter season. However, if you're trying to decide on which to get, I would say it's all based on your budget. But for me, I would select Fields at Nightfall for affordability, and for some reason, I get the most compliments while wearing Fields at Nightfall over when I'm wearing This Is Her. So my first best Zara fragrance dupe is Fields at Nightfall. Next on the list is Nocturnal Life, a 2023 launch, and this is an apple pie focused, cinnamon centered boozy fragrance. Are you getting what I'm talking about in terms of dupes? Well, Nocturnal Life is a perfect spot on dupe of Angel Share by Killian, or in this case, Kismet by Maison Alhambra. Kismet is a one-to-one dupe of Angel Share, so this smells just like Nocturnal Life. Therefore, Nocturnal Life smells just like Angel Share. Period. But seriously though, these fragrances are just quite delicious. That apple pie blooms in both fragrances, especially in the Nocturnal Life fragrance. I would say though that Nocturnal Life has more cinnamon. It's almost like an extra spoonful of cinnamon was added to it, but I enjoy the fragrance. It has a slight smokiness as it dries down, but it is so, so enjoyable, especially if you love, fragrances within this DNA. Absolutely delicious. In terms of performance, like I would always say with Zara fragrances, I overspray to get the best or the most benefit out of it. In fact, I remember the first time I wore this, I oversprayed on my clothing and I went for a walk. Two ladies behind me gave me so many compliments. I was like, oh my goodness. And they took the name as well. I love to give people names of fragrances. There's no gatekeeping here. It's a beautiful fragrance, lasts quite a while. It might not be a strong performer in terms of its lasting power. Maybe because I still have to let it sit. I mean, it's a new release. But overall, I would say if you're trying to get Angel Share and it's so pricey and you can't get your hands on Kismet by Maison Alhambra, definitely, most definitely get you Nocturnal Life by Zara. Just to be clear, these fragrances are not listed in any particular order, okay? So the next Zara fragrance on this list is an exquisite fragrance. It's just a beautiful fragrance. This is Fashionably London, a collaboration between Zara and Jo Malone. This is a 2021 release, and I am obsessed with this fragrance. It is strong. It projects really well. It sticks to your clothes for days. This focuses on rose, beautiful pink roses. I can smell pink roses with this fragrance. Freshly caught roses with a mix of rose oil to beef up the performance of this fragrance. This is so beautiful. Fashionably London is the perfect name for this because I can only imagine a fashion forward, creative, artsy person, wearing clean cut designs that will be able to wear Fashionably London. It is so good. It's giving luxury, elegance. There's something very, very exquisite about it. You will turn heads with Fashionably London. I remember wearing this to a home goods store that focuses on scented items for homes. And I got compliments from them while wearing Fashionably London. Do you know how potent a fragrance has to be able to weave through an already scented space? That's how good Fashionably London is. Again, it focuses on fresh roses. It has a musky dry down with some elements of oud, even though oud is not listed as a note. This is beautiful. Now, what is it duping? Well, this is a great alternative to Scherzo by Miller Harris, a 2018 creation. Now, the only difference I would say is the juicy element that Scherzo has. Scherzo has roses, it has musk, it has oud, but there are also fruits added as notes, giving it that plump juiciness, almost feels syrupy in the way it smells, right? Which I quite enjoy. It's also as potent as Fashionably London, but the similarities comes to play in the dry down. Once you smell this, hours after spritting it on, you would more or less be unable to tell the difference. Rose forward fragrances, elegant fragrances, ultra feminine fragrances are these two. Pick whatever you decide on. For me, I cannot decide. So this next fragrance, I'm really excited to talk about because it's quite hilarious to have read or seen some of the very mean and horrible comments people have made since it was identified that this fragrance is a great alternative to a very popular fragrance. It's incredulous how some people can just be so mean-spirited over a fragrance that they had no hand in creating. You're just a consumer, yet you're putting words just to go against what other people can get in a fragrance. It's just amazing how ridiculous people can be. But anyway, I'm referring to an amazing standalone creation called Hipster Oud by Zara. This is a 2022 launch, again, standalone, meaning this was not created with the intent to be a dupe, like is with a lot of Zara fragrances. Now, Hipster Oud, to my nose and that of a few others, this is a juicier, sweeter take on the one, the only Guidance by Amouage. Hipster Oud has a fresh, sweet, fruity-like appeal at the top at the opening. Guidance is more nutty. It has a sort of spicy take as you spritz this first and more or less throughout the wear of the fragrance. Then it gets to the nutty route as it dries down. With Hipster Oud, even though the sweetness appears at the beginning, once it dries down, you get the nuttiness as well. The sweetness from the fruit still appears once in a while, but the nuttiness is still prevalent throughout the wear of the fragrance. Like I mentioned, accords. So accords are formed when notes come together and just it creates something unique. The unique factor created here is the accord of guidance transported into Hipster Oud. That is the best way I can describe this. It's not a one-to-one dupe, but you know how some fragrances you can get the similarities, especially in the dry down. That's what I'm getting with Hipster Oud when it comes to guidance. And it's not just me. A few other people, in fact, I had a lady send me a private message saying She also got the same thing, but she was worried to just speak out loud or write it out because she was worried about some of the comments. I've also gotten a similar one from someone else saying they could also get the similarity with guidance. So let people just identify what they want to identify. They don't have to agree with you. You don't have to be rude because you feel that, fragrance should not be a dupe or an alternative. It's just annoying. But again, I laugh. It's hilarious to me. If you're not willing to splurge or you can find a great deal on guidance, definitely get your nose on Hipster Oud. It's a great alternative. It's a sweeter take on guidance. It's a more juicy take on guidance, but in the dry down, you get similarities. The nuttiness is present. It's beautiful. Both are beautiful fragrances. Both are compliment magnets as well. Literally, always get compliments when I wear Hipster Oud, and the same with guidance. So, what is there not to love? In fact, when I think about it now, Hipster Oud is a younger, more playful take on guidance. Guidance is more refined. This is more playful, but both works. They're amazing. Women would love this. Men love this. So definitely check out my next best alternative or dupe of Zara fragrance is Hipster Oud. And finally, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I finally have this fragrance in my collection. It's a new addition. It's a fragrance I just couldn't stop thinking about once I smelled it the first time, and I'm happy I now have it. This is a fragrance that is so beautiful. It's a great, near perfect dupe of another incredible fragrance. What am I talking about? This is Spell Caramel, a 2023 release by the brand. Now, this is actually targeted towards men, but let me tell you, this is such a great unisex fragrance. Men can wear this, women can wear this. It's absolutely divine. This is all about caramel mixed with some citrus elements. This is very, very delicious and quite moorish. Now, what is it a great dupe of? This is, like I mentioned, a near perfect dupe of Blonde Amber by Clive Christian. When I smelled this the first time, I was like, you have to just believe me. And surprisingly, when I went to Fragrantica, I saw Blonde Amber listed under the Remind Me of section of Spell Caramel. It's absolutely beautiful, very delicious. Surprisingly as well, both fragrances share about five similar notes. Here we have vanilla, orange, ginger, osmanthus, cardamom present in both fragrances. So you can tell that for the most part, accords have been formed and you get that similarly in both fragrances. Now, the only key difference I would say is that being that this is geared towards men, the cologne almost perfumey like feel comes to play as it dries down. It sticks out for me. I will still try to keep this, to macerate to see if that cologne feel just disappears. Hopefully it does because this is one to have. Women, there are a lot of hidden gems in the men's section. I don't know how I got to pick this up, but I'm glad I checked out their collection. Definitely check it out. Beautiful fragrance, a perfect his and hers fragrance is Bell Caramel, and like I said, a great, near perfect dupe of an amazing fragrance, Clive Christian's Blonde Amber. And there you have it, my love. Five incredible fragrances or dupes from Zara. Now, I know for some people, dupes are subjective. Some people love it, some people cannot stand it. But for me, I'm open to any and every fragrance as long as it's of good quality and I enjoy it. So, you know what? Dupe me, okay? Now, have you tried any of these fragrances? Please let me know in the comments. Are there dupes from Zara that were not mentioned here that you've tried? Please share it as well. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your encouragement, for holding me down. It means the world to me. Now, what is your scent of the day? Mine is Fashionably London from Zara. Just me wearing my white Oxford shirt. Fashionably London is the right fragrance to wear it with. I mean, it's giving New York supermodel. I'm joking. I'm joking. Humble pie. I'm joking. Thank you so much for everything. I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Okay, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, share this with a loved one or a friend. Okay, and I mean it when I say you mean everything to me. I hope you can feel the love. Feel the love. See you soon.